So conquesting is targeting another brand's keywords or products. So we talked brand defense in the previous episode. That's where you're using keyword targeting on your own branded products, your own brand name, your own model names. Conquesting is just that concept in reverse. So you're going on the offensive. You're targeting competitors' keywords related to your competitors' specific products. So their model names, their brand names, etc. One of the metrics that we discussed in that episode was that in health and personal care category, 40% of branded search results in a purchase of a different brand. So that was justification to defend your brand adequately. It also gives credence to conquesting as a strategy. It's viable. Like you can target a brand that somebody else is looking for, and you can steal their market share. Joe, you want to talk through like a couple of the important placements for conquesting?
Yeah, for sure. So like say we want to target one of our competitors' brands. So one way that you can do that is just targeting the brand name itself. Another way to do that is targeting specific products related to that brand. And so when we do keyword targeting, a primary placement for that is in the search results. So top of search is a great way to target other people's brands. Remember when we talk through placements in top of search, for sponsored products top of search, that tends to be the highest converting placements that we see overall. So these convert at like around 19 to 20% compared to the average conversion rate of like 10 to 11. So almost double the amount of people who click on these ads buy it. And one of the key reasons is that many people do not realize that there's ads on Amazon. And so when they go in and they type a search, so if I search for a specific brand and the first listing that pops up is actually my ad versus their products, many people won't even realize that they're not actually getting that brand. And so they'll just click on that first ad and go through and buy it. And that's why you see these high defect rates for people who search for specific brands, but then buy other products like Matt just mentioned. So keywords are a great way to go. Matt, how about product targets? Where do those show up and how do you utilize those?
Yeah, I'd say that probably product targeting is the most common means of conquesting other brands. We talked through ASIN defense. That's where you're targeting your own ASINs using product targeting. With conquesting, it's the traditional use of product targets. So that's where you're picking competitor ASINs and you're using product targeting to put your products on their product detail pages. There are a couple different methods that you can utilize for conquesting product targeting. So the first would be categories. Using category targets, they're really easy to add in the Amazon ad console. And what's really cool about it is you can refine your category target by brand. So you can pick out specific brands to specifically conquest through product targeting. You can also refine those category targets further. So where conquesting is probably most viable is where you have an advantage in terms of reviews or price. And so with category targeting, you can modify those targets and refine it based on reviews or price. So if you have a visual 4.5 rating, you could choose to target products with a rating of 4 or below where your product has a review advantage. You could also choose products that are priced higher than yours. You can combine those two together as well and say pick products that are equivalent in price or higher and have a review rating worse than your own product. So with those category target modifiers, it's a great way to cast a wide net across your category and reach relevant competing products, get exposure on their product page, and steal their market share. Of course, you can also individually select your own ASINs too that you'd like to target, which will typically lead to the best results because you can build in your own logic beyond just those category modifiers. You can actively seek out products that are really close substitutes that you know are unfavorable on their end in terms of rating, price, or just product attributes. If you have a higher quality product, you could target lower quality products that have worse social proof like reviews or higher price points and so on.
Yeah. So overall, when you're looking at, well, which competitors do I target? Kind of what Matt's hitting on is you want to target those competitors where you've got an advantage. whether it's in price or whether it's in reviews or whether you just have a better listing overall or there's other pieces of the product itself that just makes it better. So put yourself in the customer's shoes and compare these listings head on and see, okay, which one would I honestly buy? I know I'm super invested in the one that I made, but are there any other pieces or items that I can implement in my listing, in my product description, or in the product itself to give myself that advantage? So now when I advertise on their listing, they're drawn over to mine and they're going to purchase. So that's one great way to kind of try to differentiate yourself overall, and it really helps you with the conquesting strategy. Another way to find other competitors to target, like one, you're going to know who your major competitors are, but there's always some other ASINs that show up that can be surprising. And one way that we find those is just by utilizing auto campaigns. And through auto campaigns, you're going to find different products that Amazon determines that you should target. They're going to show your ad and it may convert well. And so this ties back to the campaign funnel strategy that we discussed in previous episodes. So from the campaign funnel itself, if you look in the search term report for your auto campaigns, you're going to see a lot of ASINs that have converted. And so some of these may be direct competitors, some of these may be more like complements or substitutes, but there could be a lot of different listings that you can target with your ads just by looking at the ASINs that you find in the search term report. So Matt, how about any other ways that we can find different products that we want to target?
Yeah, I'd say probably one underutilized resource would be brand analytics reports. They're available to all brand registered sellers. If you log into your Seller Central account and go under the brands header, you'll see a brand analytics drop down there. It also shows up under the reporting header, or reports header. And what's really cool about brand analytics reports is it breaks out potential ASINs or products to Conquest into 3 different report types. So one would be market basket analysis, and those would be products that are frequently purchased with your products. So those would be mostly complements, maybe buying pencils with pencil sharpeners. Typically, complements don't do quite as well as direct substitutes. So that's where item comparison and alternate purchase brand analytic reports really come in and provide awesome data. So it shows firsthand from Amazon's internal data what products people are most frequently comparing to yours. So the listings they look at before or after viewing yours, and also the products that people buy in place of yours most frequently. So you can check out those alternate purchase products, see what, check out their listing and see, do they have an advantage or are we just direct substitutes and should I try conquesting them? It gives you a lot of valuable information that you can use for conquesting.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of different sources that we just talked through on how to figure out which products or brands to target. So just kind of going back. So first off, you're going to know who your major direct competitors are just through product development and product research. So those are going to be prime ones to target. Another way is through the campaign funnel structure. So I'm just going to look at the auto campaigns that I have set up for my products. I'm going to review the search term report, and I'm going to see what ASINs have done really well and have converted into sales. And for those, I'm going to move them downstream into these more conquesting targeted campaigns that I have. And then the third piece is brand analytics. So brand analytics kind of pulls back the curtains on some of Amazon's algorithms to show, based off of consumer purchase information, what's going to be solid substitutes for my products or complements. Like, yep, the market basket analysis is great. And just finding, if somebody didn't purchase my product, which one did they purchase? Or if they bought my product, what are other ones that they looked at? These can provide a lot of great insights. So, Matt, once we've determined what brands we want to target, we know what products we want to target. Walk us through the strategy then. How do I implement this conquesting strategy with sponsor products, sponsor brands, and sponsor display? What's the way to go?
Sure. Yeah. So on the sponsor product front, we kind of hit all the different sources. So you're going to use auto campaigns. You'll have auto campaigns set up for the majority of your product catalog. you'll pull search term reports, you'll harvest those ASIN, you'll move them down the funnel into manual product targeting and manual conquesting campaigns as search terms convert and you review that data. I would set up standalone campaigns for conquesting specific strategies. So you're not taking your primary general keyword targeting campaigns and loading a bunch of competitor keywords into them. It's a separate strategy. It may or may not convert as well as general category keywords. So put them in a separate campaign where you can more easily track them, have eyes on them, and then control budget too. On the sponsored brand side, you'll primarily use keyword targeting as a conquesting strategy. Product targeting on the sponsored brand front, it doesn't drive a ton of traffic. There's no harm in using it. So, whatever's converting in terms of product targets on the sponsored product front, you can put them in a sponsored brand product targeting campaign, but you'll see most traction in the form of sponsored brand keyword targeting. So you'll take those branded keywords, you'll put them in your sponsored brand campaigns, and you'll trial that conquesting strategy there and let results dictate how much budget you feed it and whether it's a viable strategy for you. On the sponsored display front, you're going to do exactly what you did for sponsored products. So like we've talked about in previous episodes, we always mirror our sponsored display campaign structures, always mirror our sponsored product campaign structures. And we share data between those two campaign types for all of our product targets. Obviously, sponsored display, you're not going to have keyword targeting. It's going to be product targeting only. But setting those two campaigns up in parallel where they mirror each other is a best practice that we found. Joe, do you have any other structural recommendations?
No, I mean, those are the major structural pieces. So that was a good overview there. And just to kind of recap, so for conquesting strategies, what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase our market share. And we're trying to put our targeted ads on people who may have purchased from our competitors, and we're trying to bring them over to our product detail page to instead purchase from us. So if we see a conquesting strategy that's performing really well, what we'll see is if somebody types in a search for my competitor, my ad's going to pop up first on the top of the search results. Or if they search for their brand, my ad's going to pop up in the search results. Then if they click on the competitor's listings, now they're going to scroll down a little bit and they're going to see an ad right below the buy box, which is going to be a sponsored display product targeting campaign or a product targeting ad. They're going to see right below the description another ad, and it's going to be my product. And then they're going to scroll down a little bit more and they're going to see this carousel of different advertisements, the sponsored products or the products related to your search from sponsored products, product targeting, and my products are going to show up there. And then they're going to scroll down a little bit more and they're going to see brands related to this product, and they're going to see my brand from a sponsored brands campaign. So this is the kind of holistic strategy where you can tie together all these different ad types. And ideally, when they're trying to purchase from my competitor, they're going to see like 5 or 6 of my ads. So they're going to be much more likely to go. And remember, all these ads are on a cost per click basis. So if we own all the real estate, we only pay for when they actually click. So it's awesome that we can show up multiple times to draw them over. This gives us a much higher chance to capture that click and then convert them into sales and expand our sales overall. And just tying it really far back into your general strategies, if we can convert more customers into buyers for our actual listings, that's going to help our organic rankings too over time compared to our competitors. And this is going to help my organic sales, which is going to help my overall profitability. So you can see how these things all kind of build on each other.